What is going on, guys? Unholy Vendetta here with Gamers LZ. Today we're going to talk about Modern Warfare 2019. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Strap in, this is going to be a fun one. So where do I begin? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 had the potential to be one of the best Call of Duties that we've seen in quite some time. Unfortunately, it fell short in a lot of places where it counts the most, in my opinion. Before we hit some of those negatives, let's focus on the positives and what Call of Duty Modern Warfare did right this year. For instance, starting with, in my opinion, one of the more important parts, gunplay. The gunplay is as smooth and as nice and crisp as it has ever been in the series. And for me, that's a huge plus. I love running around, I love shooting people in the face as much as I can, and this style of gunplay allows me to do it. The second topic I want to talk about that, in my opinion, is a positive is the weaponsmith or the gunsmith. In my opinion, it is useful and it's super cool to look at and to use until you find that one setup that works for you. I found that once I found that one setup, I didn't use it, didn't touch it, didn't really look at it. Every once in a while, I saw that I had unlocked something for a weapon. I'd go look at it, maybe try out the attachment if I thought it might fit, but ultimately I ended up going back to what I had before. Let's talk about the campaign now. Modern Warfare has one of the best campaigns that I have played in quite some time when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise. Granted, Black Ops 4 is obviously excluded from that because it didn't have a campaign, not that it would have been any good anyway, but I digress. This campaign is exactly what I feel like a good Call of Duty campaign should be. It's nitty gritty, it's just grimy, it's visceral, it's in your face, it's real. Some of the stuff that you see is a little shocking, for lack of a better word. I mean, you see children getting, innocent kids getting killed. You see innocent people getting gassed and stuff like that. And that to me is sad, but at the same time, we're adults. So it's time to kind of step up and act like adults. If you don't want to see that, then obviously don't play the campaign. However, for the people who aren't, I guess, squeamish or whatever, play it. It's great. It's a fantastic campaign. I highly suggest anybody to play it. It's amazing. The story, the fact that you get to go and play with Price, post Task Force 141 is great. The ending is a huge fan service to all the Call of Duty Modern Warfare fanboys out there, me included. And I really do hope that they grow upon that as the series. Hopefully, it's going to be a series expands. Now let's talk a little bit about the multiplayer. The multiplayer for me, upon launch, was a huge letdown. Uh, I played the beta and I played the alpha, the gunfight alpha as well on PS4, and I wasn't really too impressed with the gunfight alpha. It was interesting for the first few hours, and then I slowly lost my interest. With that said, the beta came out, and I was like, okay, cool, some 6v6. Let's go back old school Call of Duty. Well, that's what they did, and it was fun for a while. And then the game released. And once the game released, it was like a totally different story. You had the 7.25 shotgun, which was one of the most overpowered weapons I've seen in a Call of Duty game in quite some time, shooting you halfway across the map. Granted, you have those people that argue, well, it's a shotgun. Shotguns actually have pretty decent distances. And that is true in real life, where this is a video game. And for the sake of the balance of the game, that should not have been like that at all. Luckily, they fixed it eventually. I mean, it eventually. They didn't do it right away. They did. At least they started on it right away. They started to tweak it. They started to fix it. They went through some rough patches here and there, but finally they did get it to where it's a relatively decent weapon. It's still usable. It's not totally, to the point to where it's useless. And I got to be honest, it still hits some pretty crazy shots from time to time, depending on what attachments you have on there. One issue I have with the multiplayer are the number of maps. The number of maps that we have in Modern Warfare are so minimal. It really it sucks. Like it sucks, man. Because I'm used to, like, even Black Ops 4 had more maps than what Modern Warfare had. Granted, not by much, but more nevertheless. And I have a sincere issue with that. Um, Obviously, season one has been through. It's almost done. There's like 10 or 9 days left at the time of actually recording this, and I still haven't seen all the maps I've wanted to see. Yeah, they added Crash. Yeah, they added Vacant. Whoop de doo. Yeah, they added Shipment, which we're gonna get to Shipment in just a second, I promise. But going back around, it's just the lack of maps sucks. Like I really hope in season two they kick it up a notch and they start releasing more maps because I feel like that is really gonna like help the monotony of the same three maps that you want to play. Because I gotta be honest, I don't stay on Piccadilly. Piccadilly. Now let's go back around to Shipment. Shipment is one of my favorite yet most hated maps in Modern Warfare 2019 right now. Why? Because the spawns are broken. I have gameplay going in the background, as I'm sure you are aware of by now. That is on Shipment. I was playing Shipment 24/7, and I was playing. There was a few games of Hardpoint, a few games of Kill Confirmed. But anyway, Hardpoint on Shipment is a catastrophe. I can't. I mean, you've seen in the video if you're still watching this. You've seen how many times I've spawn died. Or if the hard points in the middle of all the shipment containers where B would be in domination, all these people just spawn right on the objective and they get obliterated. Or they kill me because they shoot me in the back. I understand it's a small map, but Jesus fucking Christ, you have more than 3 spawn points, I would hope, on this map. They claimed they fixed the spawn points, but I don't believe it. I think they're full of crap. There's no way they fixed it because it's still a monstrosity as far as spawns go. On top of that, though, let's talk about some of the elevation in this game. The elevation in Shipment is stupid. Like, why allow people to climb on top of these cargo containers, lay prone, or grab a shield, a deployable shield, and hide behind it and mount on it and just mow people down with LMGs or shoot RPG? It's stupid. I don't understand why they allowed verticality into Shipment. I understand it was supposed to be or it is, I should say, it is a gunfight match, and for that, I'm sure it's fun as fuck. It's 2v2, so it's whatever. But as a 6v6 map, or a 5v5 map, depending on what game mode you're playing, absolutely not. They need to fix that shit. So one of my other complaints with the multiplayer is all the camping that's going on. And I'm sure a lot of people that are watching are going to be like, unholy, you're playing the same tune everybody else is. And to a degree, you're absolutely correct. I am. But I can't say I haven't gotten used to it because I have, and I have learned to play around it. I've adapted, if you will. But it's still fucking annoying. Like whenever this game first came out, after about the first week or so, and the camping really started to kick in and took everybody by surprise, I hated this game. I wanted to break this game in half. Unfortunately, I have a digital copy, so I can't do that. But it pissed me off, man, because I'm so used to running and gunning, and you couldn't do. Well, I thought you couldn't do that. Now I still run and gun, as you can see in the gameplay, but I'm a little slower. Like I said, I've adapted, if you will. But anyway, though, with that said, I still think Shipment's fun to play. Going back on another positive, the crossplay. The crossplay is actually really, really cool in my opinion. It's something that I have wanted to see for a while when it comes to multiplayer games. Call of Duty and Battlefield and all that stuff in particular. Fortunately for us, Call of Duty and Activision and Modern Warfare have been the ones to go ahead and give it a shot for ultimately. And I think that's awesome, being able to play with your buddies on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. I think that is a great addition, and I hope that is a continuing trend that has now been more of a set thing inside of the game world, instead of just a one-off type of thing. Now on to a few negative topics, I suppose. One of the negative topics, like I mentioned earlier, is the lack of maps. I really do feel like the lack of maps hinders this game. And I know a lot of people out there, I've seen a lot of reviewers and stuff like that kind of call and complain about the lack of maps. And yeah, you could argue, they're adding more every season, they're doing this, they're doing that. And while all that is true, I feel that we should have had more maps at launch than we currently do right now. Another negative, in my opinion, is gonna have to be the camping. Now, granted, some people that's their playstyle and that's cool. However, that's not my playstyle. It's never been my playstyle. I definitely prefer to run and gun, and and be able to do that. And in this game, I feel like I am, well, not encouraged to do that, honestly. Because you have Joe Schmo over here sitting in the building with a thermal scope sniper rifle, or thermal scoped RPG, or not RPG, LMG, and he's sitting over here and he's getting white phosphoruses and juggernauts because he's sitting in one place stationary, camped up in a goddamn, fucking tent factory with a nice little campfire going and some marshmallows and some, claymores blocking all of his entryways because he has restock on, which restocks your explosives every 30 goddamn seconds, which is a whole nother topic, but still. Um, Outside of that, though, outside of all that, I'm okay with the camping for the most part. I don't like it because it's, again, not my play style. But overall, I'm not gonna hate on somebody. If it works for you, it works for you, and I guess it's just my job to figure out a way to stop it. Okay, so we've spoken about the single player a little bit. We've spoken about the multiplayer. We're gonna talk about Warzone now. Warzone for me was actually quite surprising. I was actually pretty impressed by how fun it was. Now granted, initially before they added solos here pretty recently. I didn't like the fact that I could play by myself by turning off the fill squad feature, but I was playing against up to squads of 3 people. That kind of irked me a little bit. But with that said, once I got a few buddies on and we were running a full squad, it was enjoyable. It was fun. I really liked it. It's a good take on the traditional battle royale, I suppose. I mean, you still have your giants, Fortnite, Apex, stuff like that, and people are always gonna like those. I mean, you can't do nothing about that. But I feel that Raven Software, Infinity Ward, they did a really good job with this particular battle royale game. I think Warzone is fun. I think it's going to have life remain inside the Modern Warfare name for a while, assuming they continue to, support it and fix things and add things, and I'm sure they will. Because it's free to play. Like, that's the big difference between Blackout so far. Blackout and Warzone is Blackout, you had to have the full version of Call of Duty in order to play it. Warzone, you don't. Warzone, you can download the standalone app, and you can play it with your friends. The crossplay is still supported, which is awesome, and it seems like it's gonna be around for a while, assuming the world doesn't end from COVID-19. Oops. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say on the game. Honestly, it's a good game. It's well rounded. On a 10 scale, I would rate Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 a 7.5 or an 8 overall. Um, the campaign's super fun, definitely worth playing. The multiplayer is worth playing. It's fun. Yeah, you have your those crappy maps here and there like Piccadilly and whatnot, but you also have some pretty decent maps that are in the game as well. Gunsmith is awesome. And then finally, Warzone is fun. Warzone is a great little addition to what was already a pretty fun package. So with that said, if you haven't yet, go try it. At least go try Warzone. I mean, it's free. Might as well. So anyway, guys, y'all take it easy. Thank y'all for listening to the review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and more importantly, don't forget to put some comments down there. Let me know how I'm doing. Again, I really predicate a lot of what I do on what your opinions are and what your feedback is. Like parts I need to work on, parts I should, do better in or do less in, whichever. Anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.